Hey guys, Michael here. I am back with another P3 video. In this one, I'm going to share with you what does it take to install the conveyor feeder on the xTool P3. Let's quickly take a look at what's inside the box. Instruction manual. We have 4 rails. We have a bar, cable, screws, and some screwdrivers, and looks like hardware in there. We have the feeder. First thing we need to do is remove some screws from the front and the back of the P3. In the front, once you open this lid, there are 3 screws, 1, 2, and 3. Once you remove those screws, it allows you to open and close this front door. It's held by magnets. After removing the 3 screws in the front, there is a panel back here in the back. On the right-hand side, there's a recess to grab it. And this is a little magnetic panel you can remove. What I found is I can put it right here on this shelf and it doesn't hit anything, it doesn't get in the way. On the back, you need to remove 10 screws. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Once you remove the 10 screws, you can pull this off of here. It is held on by magnets. There's some metal plates on the sides and magnets on the left and right hand side, so you can always put it back and let the magnets hold it. All right, here's the conveyor feeder. This is the front side. Let's spin it around. Looking at the back side, there is a spot for a plug. You want to take the cable that came with the conveyor, plug it in, making sure you seat the cable all the way in. Once you get that plugged in, it says to secure this cable to the outside body of this all the way around so that it kind of sticks out like that in the front. And you don't want it on the bottom side because we're going to have to slide this into the P3. Once you're done with that cable, you want to take the auto feeder and slide it all the way in until it stops, and then plug the cable into the right-hand side. Here's a close-up of how I did the cable. As you can see, I just did a little loop and plugged it in. Coming back to the front, you want to use the included screws that came with it and attach the 4 screws to the front of that conveyor feeder. All right, this next step is pretty cool. So one of the complaints we had on the P2 and P2S is the amount of smoke that comes out when we're actually using the conveyor. Well, the P3, they came up with this little rubber strip with these little fingers here, and it's going to go across this to actually try to block some of the smoke going out to allow the, exhaust to pull that smoke out of the machine and into your purifier or in the direction you want it to go, not all over the place. It's a little weird because there are screws here, and I don't really want to cover the screws, but this strip fits perfectly between these 2 vertical lines, so I'm believing that's where that strip's going to go. I'm going to put that strip there, and I'm guessing if I ever need to, for whatever reason, get to these screws, I can just cut that little circle, keeping the strip intact, but cut the little circle so I can get to those screws. So I'm going to peel the backing off just a little bit at a time and line that up. And now that I have that fully secured, I can, close this when I'm not using the conveyor or open this up, and, I have the way to put the material in there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on to make it easier to show you guys. But we need to attach a rail to the bed of the bed of the machine that lifts up and down. In the kit, you have this little horseshoe looking thing that has a sticker on the bottom. You have a couple of thumb screws and then you have this bar. So the first thing I need to do is up here in the front, there's a little door that you can slide back and forth, sort of like a privacy door on a laptop to cover up your laptop camera. That privacy door is right here in the middle. If you zoom in, you can see it down there, and there's the little slider. So I'm exposing a small sensor, slide the slider, and I'm hiding the sensor. What you're going to do next is take this little horseshoe piece, peel off the sticker, and you're going to stick it right in front of that eye, just where it is on the bed and not hanging over the bed. You don't want to hang it over like that. You want to line it up just like that. All right, I have my horseshoe installed. Next thing I need to do is install this bar into the front on the bed. So underneath here, there's a little nub that's going to go in the small hole, and then you're going to use your little thumb screws to attach this to the bed. So you'll want to make sure it's all lined up and drops in the holes. Once you're sure of that and it's sitting on the horseshoe, you can take your thumb screws and screw it on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. The next thing you need to do is set up the 4 legs, of 2 in the front and 2 in the back. Each leg consists of 1 set of rollers and a little foot. So the foot is going to sit inside of these little 2 pieces of angle. It's going to sit in there like that and pointed towards the connection. And using the bag that came with the set, you're going to put 2 screws, 1 on each side, and you're going to do that same thing for all 4 legs. So here's how you install the actual rails. On the rails themselves, they have little thumb screws. Again, make sure these are all pointed the same way. This is pointing up, this is pointing up. I made that mistake already once and had one going down. It won't install that way. So make sure they're both pointed up. Loosen these thumb screws so that it is flush or a little bit inset from there, but don't take them out all the way. Now on the left-hand side, and this is the front of the P3, on the left-hand side, there's a little slot. You can only install these on the left-hand side. You're going to install it and slide it down, and you're going to twice, for each rail. The bottom part is actually going to ride in a notch that's underneath the P3, just above this crumb tray. You really don't have to worry about this. It'll automatically fall in the notch as long as you get this right. So take this, and you're going to slide it into the notch. Make sure you push it in all the way, and then you're going to slide it horizontally into the P3. All right, hopefully this is a better view for you. Slide it in there, make sure it's pushed in all the way, and you're going to slide that down the P3. Now, one thing I want to point out, even though these all look similar, there is a difference between the front arm and the back arm. Now, if I hold these up against each other, I have these ends level with each other. As you can see, these ends are not. The ones that are level, the 2 that are the same height, this is for the front. The ones that are offset, where this one's longer than this one, this is for the back. Of course, once you get them in place and you get them lined up, you'll want to tighten these screws so they don't go anywhere and they don't want to walk as you're using the conveyor. On the back side is the exact same concept. I have my arm here where they're not the same height. Instead of inserting it from the left and sliding it to the right, I'm going to insert it from the right, slide it to the left. It has a similar slot on the bottom. And when you're finished, you'll want to tighten those screws. So you insert that and slide it over and repeat the process. So that's all there is to installing the automatic conveyor feeder. Now, there is some additional rails you can get, and I'll show you what that looks like in another video, but this is the basic kit that comes with the front and back rails. Now, the question is that everybody's asking, can I install this and keep it installed inside the P3? The answer is yes, with one exception. So on the back side, yeah, you can install that part, you plug it in, you're done. You don't have to touch it again. The doors, the magnetic door on the inside and the plastic door on the outside, you take those out of the way when you want to use the conveyor, put them back when you're done. Now, the only part that's kind of a maybe would be the front part. The front, you get full use of the bed, but the front part has that little rail that's attached beyond the limits of the working area. So if you need to put some material in there that goes beyond that, you can just simply remove the 2 thumb screws, take them up, take the bar out, and pop that horseshoe off because it's just held on by some double-sided tape if you have to remove that. But yeah, you can actually keep this installed. You don't have to take it out. So kudos to xTool for figuring out how to do that. This was a great add-on for the P3. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next time.